Hi, my name is Jeb, and welcome back to the Lazy Plant Corner. Today we are going to be discussing succulent potting soil. Now this is exciting because this is the first time I've ever mixed my own soil, but I've decided to do this because we're going to catch a cat on cam. I've decided to do this because previously I have just potted my succulents and cacti in regular potting soil and they have rotted. So I'm not in the business of wrecking plants unnecessarily anymore, so we're just going to get started. Today I bought this beautiful Euphorbia amac variegata, and I'll give more of a detailed close-up shot, but we're going to be repotting her today because I know for cat cam. I know for a fact that it was at the nursery for months, and so it deserves a little TLC. We're going to help it out a little bit today. So I've got a couple things here. I've got 1, my mixing container, 2, my dowel, 3, my perlite, 4, my potting mix, 5, my sand, 6, my plant and the pot that I'm going to repot it in, and 7, back here I have another terracotta pot. This pot is just full of soil from plants that I have repotted, and eventually I will reuse this soil when I plant vegetables in the spring. So I'm just going to be putting the old soil in there. So the recipe I'm going to be following, I will link down below where I found the recipe, but it is from a website. I just looked up succulent potting soil, and this is the recipe that we're following. So it's a 3-2-1 mix. It's 3 parts potting soil, 2 parts sand, 1 part perlite. And I might eyeball it. I might add a little bit more perlite or sand depending on how it goes, but we will see. So we're going to start by taking 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to make like a double or triple batch of this. So
4, 5, 6. Where are these more? 7, 8, 9.
I'm the only one that loves how potting soil smells. I just love how it smells. Okay, I'm gonna need to get some scissors to cut the bag open. So now we're gonna do the sand. And I'm just working on a piece of cardboard, but we're gonna be vacuuming after this, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we did 9 of these, which means that we're going to do, so for every 3 there's 2. So there's 3 groups of 9. So we're going to do 6. Some good math right there. 6 scoops of sand. And now the sand is a lot heavier, so 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
and then with the perlite, we're going to do 4 scoops of perlite. This is one of those tear bags that never tears properly. Okay, and 4 scoops of perlite. 1, 2, 3. Oh, not 4 scoops of perlite. 3 scoops of perlite. That does make sense. Okay, 3 scoops of perlite. So I just added in 3 scoops of perlite, but I actually think I'm going to add 4 scoops of perlite anyways. No, I'll mix it first. So you can see I've got the layers in there, and I'm just gonna close the lid and shake it up. And I could just stir it, but why do that when I could shake it? Shaking is so much more fun. Also, this is pretty cheap. Like, I just found this container at the thrift store. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna add some more perlite because it's still pretty dense. So I'm gonna add in 2 more scoops of perlite. This is looking really nice, people. And I'm not gonna add any worm castings or any fertilizer to the soil because the Miracle-Gro fertilizer has fertilizer in it, like fertilizer beads, the slow release ones. And I'm also just going to fertilize with like cactus fertilizer. I'm gonna actually add 1 more scoop of perlite in, I think. Never done this before. I just want it to be really airy because I don't want my plants to rot. Is that too much to ask? Okay, making sure that's on tight. Okay, that looks like a really nice mix. So now that we have the soil mixed, we are going to move on to repotting the plant. I have a towel here that I'm going to wrap around the boys because they're very spiky, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take this and lay it on its side on the towels, and then I'm going to wrap them in the towels. Now I can handle it, which is nice. And I'm going to just slowly try to remove it from its previous container. Now this is a little bit difficult, I say, as I'm realizing it's ow! Oh, spiky. I gotta massage the pot. But there we go. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the roots. We can see that the roots are fully grown on the bottom, which is really nice. So we'll just work to massage it a little bit, break it up, and we'll see what we're working with here without trying to make too much of a mess. But ouch, I can't really tell where the spikes are because they're underneath here somewhere, so I gotta be careful. The soil is really moist, which I had a feeling it would be, and that's concerning. You can see dry, moist. These guys shouldn't be staying moist like this, so we'll see. I'm gonna undo the rest of this and then we'll come back. I have most of the soil off now. I had to put the Euphorbia back in its nursery pot because I ran out of space to take soil out in the terracotta pot that I showed you at the beginning. I'm gonna prep the new pot that we're using quickly with the soil we mixed. So I'm just gonna be adding a layer of it down into the bottom. And I want to add in quite a bit because I want the euphorbias to be tall coming out of the pot. And I also want to give them space to grow. And I think we're definitely going to be needing to mix some soil. Okay, let's test, see. That looks pretty good. That looks great, actually. Perfect amount. Okay, so now we're gonna take this out. I'm gonna move this back over here. I'm gonna try and empty out. I want to really clean off these roots because I want to see what we're working with. I want to make sure there is a viable root system, because like I said, this plant was at the nursery for months. I've seen it there like multiple times when I've gone. Honestly, these roots look really nice. Like they're not fully white, but I think that's okay. I just really want to detangle the roots, not so much to detangle them from each other. I don't mind if these 3 posts grow together, but I just want to detangle them. Oh, you can't see anything I'm doing. LOL. I just want to detangle them so that the dirt can come free, because I don't think this was the best dirt for it to be potted in. Now, I've never had a Euphorbia. If you watched my first video, you would know that the Euphorbia trigona is on my wish list, but the Euphorbia amic variegata was not. So this is kind of just an interesting trial run. This also, I just want to say, this is really difficult. Like, I keep getting poked from all these giant spikes, and they're huge. They're really spiky. It's really painful. Okay, I think I'm going to do the rest of this detangling off camera, and then I'll come back when I'm repotting it. I have successfully taken all of the soil off. Now I just have it resting in the pot that we're going to be potting it into. I'm going to take it out for just a second, put it in the nursery pot. Then what I do when I pot plants is I kind of pull, like if the surface of the soil is flat, I put my hands like this into the center of it, and I pull dirt up along the side of the pot to create kind of like a, how would I describe it? It creates kind of like a valley, I guess, for you to plant your pot in, plant your plant into. And it just, I don't know, I like doing this because it's just helpful. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so I'm going to put the plant in here. I'm going to gently unwrap the towel, which is hard because the spikes are pulling on the strings of it, but we can do this. And I'm just going to rearrange them a tiny bit. So now I have them all propped in here, and I'm just going to start filling in dirt, the potting soil that we used, or made. I'm actually just going to do this. This is, I know I'm being quiet, I can't concentrate. This is treacherous. It is, they're so spiky. Spiky, spiky boys. I have to say, this soil does a great job of supporting them. They're doing great so far. We just need to mix a little bit more soil, unfortunately. Okay, but they're looking great, so we'll just mix a bit more soil, and then we'll be good to go. It looks to be pretty much the same consistency as what we're doing over here, so excuse that noise. I'm glad I made a triple batch to start with. That's good to know for like how far this stuff goes, because not so surprisingly, the answer is not very far. Okay, so I'm just going to keep what's left of this. These are all potted nicely now. They're pretty stable in here. I'm going to pack down the soil a little bit, not too much, because you don't want to have compacted soil necessarily. Oh, I'm going to take a little scoop and put it behind this guy. They have to be supported on all sides. You can't just have dirt all willy-nilly in the pot. It's gotta like if you have plants that have like posts or even stems, like the stems all have to have something weight to hold them down and in. So make sure that your soil is like pretty equal around, but it's not like, it doesn't obviously have to be perfect. Okay, so this is perfect. And now the last thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna get a paintbrush and I'm just gonna like dust them off because they're really dusty, and when I picked it up today it had like spider webs crawling on it, and yeah, so I'm gonna get a paintbrush and then we'll go. So I'm just gonna dust, and luckily this doesn't hurt the spikes of the spines of the plant, and it gets all in those nooks and crannies, so it works perfectly. And this is going to help the plant look a lot healthier too, because obviously plants are surfaces, they collect dust and dirt and things like that, especially after doing a repotting like we just did. It's common that they become quite dirty looking, but luckily that's a very easy thing to fix. And plants like being cleaned up. If you shine the leaves of your plants or dust the leaves of your plants, it's really beneficial to them because plants need to absorb light through their leaves in order to complete photosynthesis. And oh, my light just turned off. And if there's dust on the leaves, it could be blocking the pores on the leaf surface from taking in light, and the chlorophyll from doing its chlorophyll thing. So yeah, overall, good practice to clean your plants. I'll admit I don't do it nearly as much as I probably should, but every once in a while I do a dusting day and I go around and dust all of my plants all at once. And it takes a very freaking long time because I have a lot of plants. But nonetheless, it works. Okay, so this is the Euphorbia amac variegata repotted, and it looks really beautiful and I'm really happy with it, and I'm excited to try out this soil. I will probably give it a little bit and not give it a drink right away, but we'll see. Eventually I will give it a drink, obviously, so that it can start to hydrate, but it's looking not too bad right now. And it's hard to tell, right, because it just came from the nursery, so I don't know the last time they watered it, but as I said when I was untangling the roots, there was like moisture on the soil around the roots. So I'm gonna give it a little bit and then we'll go from there. Thanks so much for stopping by and having a looky-loo at this video here. I hope it was helpful to you. I will give some updates in later videos about how this soil mix is working for me. I intend to use this potting mixture and recipe to do all of my succulents, so we will go from there. But thank you for stopping by. If you have any care tips or things I should know about the Euphorbia, then let me know down below. And if you'd like to hang out with me and watch more of my videos, then hit subscribe and come back. In the meantime, take care of yourself, enjoy your plants, and I will see you later. Bye.